¿Qué pasa, mi gente? Hello, welcome, bienvenidos to another episode, otro episodio de Hoy en Día TV. I'm your host and producer, Yesty Rodriguez, on this lovely, terrific Thursday. I will say the weather has been playing with my feelings, right? Because God knows I love the warm weather, and we've been blessed with the warm weather. But then, voila, today it went from like yesterday, literally being 88 degrees, till today the 50s. Like, my mind is boggled. I'm a little hurt, right? Because I was praying, like, hey, my birthday's coming up next week. Let there be warm, sunny weather. But hey, I'm going to put it in the atmosphere. Power of the tongue, my birthday week, the rest of the year, it's going to be nice and toasty and warm. But yes. All right, I'm going to bring on my amazing co host. We have Dr. Cece, the actionist, and we have an amazing Nadine, ¿Cómo están?
Hello, guys. How are you doing?
Bien, it was like yeah, we are good.
I don't know if it was me, but you kind
I know
of
what you mean about that weather.
I missed that. Both of y'all were talking. What happened?
The feedback.
How are y'all doing? Are y'all good?
I know what you mean about that weather. That weather being, super warm and then just kind of dropping the day. It was not only cold, but it was wet too. We had a big boom of thunder. I thought a bomb was dropping. And look, I was real nervous in the service. But it was a big bang of thunder, and then the rain started rolling, and then it got cold, and I was like, what happened to our warm weather? So I know what you mean.
I literally spoke about that a few days ago. I said, I hope the weather doesn't change and go back to being cold. And I think I spoke too dang soon. Because here we are, and it's cold outside. I walked outside with my t-shirt today. I'm like, what in the holy crap is going on? It is cold.
So it was your fault, Nate. You manifested this cold weather, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Don't blame me.
Ma'am. Well, we're gonna put it out there, right? That it's gonna get from now on, it's gonna get back to being nice and warm and toasty. I mean, because it only makes sense, right? Spring is literally knocking around the corner. Like what? March 20th is the first day of spring, and why are we dealing with the cold shenanigans anyway? Like, isn't that over with already? I'm over it.
They just want to hold us hostage in this winter weather. That's what it is. They want to hold us hostage in the winter. It's cool though. I mean, summer's right around the corner. I can't wait. You know me. I'm warm-blooded. I cannot deal with it.
I feel you. That's how I am too, sis. I'm warm-blooded.
Come on.
Yeah. Our tropical bloodlines. It's like, no, we need some nice, sunny, warm weather by the beach. Wearing our one-piece cute swimsuits. Yeah.
Listen, if I was on regular Zoom, I'd have my palm trees waving behind me, okay?
That sounds cute. Yes.
I have to stimulate. You can do that on Zoom. They have the background where it's cinematic. You could just put it up. I'll send it to you. I'll post it in the group so you could have that. How about that? I'll post it in the group.
That is awesome. So talk to me. What have y'all been up to since last week that we checked in? Any fun updates?
Well, I was on another note, I was invited to the Bronze Lens event the other day, and I was pretty grateful because the men of Beyond the Gates were there, and I think the previous day the ladies were there talking, but I wasn't able to go to that event, so I did go to the men's event, and it was pretty good. It was good. I learned a little bit about the show, about the guys, their background, and it was awesome. And networking was great as well.
That sounds exciting. I love that. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, networking is always good because it definitely helps you open up more doors, more opportunities, and get acquainted with other people that may be either in a similar lane or a different lane where you can say, hey, maybe I want to try this out, right? Mm-hmm. So that's awesome that you were able to do that.
Mm-hmm. And I know you have a big event coming.
And the old saying is,
what's the old saying?
If you're not networking, then you're not working.
Right.
Oh.
You know how the saying goes, right? If you're not networking, then you're not working.
I haven't heard that one before.
I love that. Yes.
Oh,
Well, Cece and I had an eventful last weekend. So last Saturday, we had the Collective Wear and Divine Beauty and Accessories photo shoot. Shout out to Richard Bryant, amazing photographer. Shout out to Life Memoirs, me, another amazing photographer. Hey, because I do photography too, right? Those photos are definitely coming soon. But we got behind the scenes, we got videos. It was a little bit of everything, and the vibe was amazing. So definitely stay tuned. Some of the pictures are already filtering throughout the net, throughout the Facebook and social media and IG. More to come for sure. But I'm definitely proud of Cece stepping out of her element, and she's becoming a professional now. Yes.
right. That's what I'm talking about. I've been trying to thank her for years. Like, girl, you better get out there. You better put your face out there.
Yeah, it was so fun with the team and with Collective Wear and everything. Always just so gracious. This team of professionals, and it was just so amazing. And I didn't really know how all of this went, but we were able to keep some of the merch, y'all, and it's really nice merch. So make sure you guys go online and purchase, because it's really quality material from the clothing, right? And then also from the shades and all that cool stuff. Really, really nice stuff. So thank y'all so much. That was like a real treat.
Awesome. That's awesome to hear. I mean, like I said, I'm always missing all the fun things. And I know that you have an event coming up, Creative Wear. I mean, not Creative Wear. I mean, that's your company. But we don't wait, we create. I know that's exciting. And I know I want to be there. I'm pushing to be there, but I have a premiere the next day. So I don't know how that's going to work.
I feel you, sis. Well, I mean, hey, if hopefully you can make it, but we understand you don't want to stretch yourself thin. But if you do make it, I was thinking it'll be a great opportunity for us, the three of us, to do a mini photo shoot so we can have more hoy en dia, pictures, because I want my vision. I want to have like shirts like how we have like this. So this will be option one, but then option two would be like our faces, right? And it says hoy en dia, right? So changing up the look a bit. So hopefully you can make it, but hey, if not, we'll definitely make it another time, make it work. But we have other things that we have with our faces and our images on it too. So, but more, so people can support the brand and support hoy en dia TV. Hey, yeah, support us.
Yeah, it's worldwide, honey.
That part.
And this is what, women in action, women in power, women with teamwork. This is what it looks like, for all of you lovelies that are out there watching. It's my challenge to you all is to, collaborate. A lot of people are doing the same things. And if you bring everything together, right, you can really make it cohesive. You can make it go a lot farther, right? So this is what, because, a lot of times, in the industry, they say women can't work together, but here we are proving them wrong, okay? So my challenge is for other women and men, okay? Get out there and work together, collaborate, and make everyone's brand, like, come alive, right? One into another. So I love it. Exactly. These girls are amazing.
Women in action. That's the A right there. WIA.
I love that. Yes, I love that. Yes, I love that. Now, I want to pause that real quick because I want to revisit what you just said, sis, about women working together. But before that, I know before I answer or say my thought about that right there, I know, Nadine, you had a question. I don't know if it was for me about an event coming up that I have.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about, I'm sure you can reiterate more about it. We don't wait, we create.
Yeah, so it is coming up April 18th. So for those who have not registered, it's a free registration. It's mainly to say, hey, I plan to show up because this is a networking event, right? And so it's going to be creatives of all genres, whether you're a writer, a director, a producer, photographer, editor, a model, actress, etc., etc., etc. Any creative that we have available is a great opportunity to network, to meet new faces, and to make sure to bring business cards, make sure to bring, QR codes where people can find you and follow you, and then be able to collaborate with others. So it's definitely going to be a fun event for sure. And then along those lines to Philly, I'll be there this weekend. Me and my National Alzheimer's Unforgettable crew. We're closing chapter, was it 20th episode of live theater. So we will be in Philadelphia, and that is actually eventually turning into a film. an educational film to bring Alzheimer's awareness. So for those who don't know, since 2022, I've been a part of G. Davis TV and Films in collaboration with the National Alzheimer's Association, another brand called Lilly, and then Edward Jones, I believe, with the other sponsors. And so with that, we were able to travel across the nation to different parts of the country. We went to Cali, to Vegas, to Texas, Wisconsin, Philadelphia. Where else do we go to? Miami, a bunch of other places. And pretty much the goal was to bring awareness on the importance of early detection when it comes to Alzheimer's, because a lot of us don't really realize that. And so I play the role of a woman who picks up on those traits right away. And my family doesn't believe me that the person that I care for and love for, that she is experiencing early onset dementia and Alzheimer's. I pick up on it, but everybody else is doubting me, right? So it's a really interesting story. And just to hear the feedback from the people who have watched it, I was looking at my phone because I was able to get some archives that I plan to put out throughout the year, just of people's testimonies of how this production touched their lives. And I started crying, even to the point where my honey's like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, "Because I'm watching these videos." It was really touching just to see the lives that you touch, how people can really relate to what they're experiencing, especially what they see in the play. So more to come on that, but I'm definitely, it's a bittersweet moment, right? It's one of those things where an amazing opportunity is the good thing is coming to an end, but I know God has other amazing things, which he does, that I can't say just yet. Is coming soon. So stay tuned. Yay.
Amazing. And I mean, it was just, it will bring awareness. I mean, if you could have more things like that, more production where you bring in awareness, that's good. Is it a documentary or is it a play, like theater?
So right now it is in a theater play. Yep. But eventually we've already filmed for it to be an actual film itself. Mm-hmm. To what extent they're going to show it, because to my understanding it's for educational purposes at that point, where they're going to take it to different schools that focus on the psychological aspects of Alzheimer's. And then from there, we'll see if they'll decide to distribute it at a broader scale. So yeah,
that's awesome. Mm-hmm. That's really good. And that's something, many people deal with. I know my grandpa, that's what he dealt with. And sometimes you just don't see it coming. So knowing the signs and then knowing how to, be a caregiver to someone with that, because it does change that person's life, but also the people that are caring for them as well. So that's really good. It's good. Bring more awareness to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Now, Cece, I'm going to revisit. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Nadine.
No, I was going to say, well, you probably say it later on. I was going to tell you, you didn't say where the people could find the information for We Don't Wait.
Yeah, great point. So actually, I have it on my site. So let me go on my Facebook real quick. It's a link, and I can put it on there right now for everybody who's watching to register right away. It is a link that people can go to register. So give me just a moment so I can find that. Thank you for reminding me of that. Let's see. All right. So to lock in your spot, email thecollectivevisions1@gmail.com or visit thecollectiveevents.net. I'm actually going to put it in the chat right now for everybody to see. And voila. It should be posting. So that is for the We Don't Wait, We Create event. Lock in your spot, email thecollectivevisions1@gmail.com or visit thecollectiveevents.net for more information. There is a link there to register. So, yeah. Okay. Yes. All right. So, Cece, you made a great point earlier with regards to there's a notion that women can't work together, but I agree with you that women can work together. Now, my theory is that it depends on the level of maturity, right? Or the level of confidence. I feel like when you're younger, based on the upbringing, on who individuals are either friends with or exposed to, they get that like-minded, what's it called? It's called groupthink type of mindset, right? Where everybody starts thinking the same because you're exposed to a certain group of people that are either negative. But once you kind of pull yourself out of that situation and you realize this is not how it is, your mindset starts to shift. And so that's where the maturity aspect grows, to say, hey, that's an individual person. she's amazing. I'm an individual person. I'm amazing. That's an individual person. They're amazing, right? We all have our own uniqueness, but that takes time to progress and grow into that maturity mindset. Would you agree or disagree?
Yeah,
You,
absolutely, 100%. I do think some maturity does play into it. But I want to change that narrative. I want to, for women out there that have girl children, like these female children, start teaching them at a young age, right? When they're on these play dates, you know what I'm saying? How to be one, how to work together. And then that way, right, if they're getting it at a very young age, right, they're just going to kind of grow and evolve to even carry that through, even more so. So, but yeah, it does. I do believe that it does take some maturity in it. And it also has to take the willingness, right, of that person. Because sometimes you just got some girls that just want to be catty and they want to be messy and they want to have drama because that's those settings that they actually thrive in, right? So you just got to kind of know, right, who your tribe is, who your people are. And the group think, I've never liked group think. I've never been, a fan of that club. Group think, because we're all individuals, right, with our own unique DNA. Therefore, it tells me, right, that I should be thinking as an individual. Now we can come together collectively after all the ideas have been, expanded and kind of thought about and talked about and all of those things, right? And challenged to see what's going to be the better fit and so on and so forth. We can come together collectively, right? And then say, okay, now let's move forward with the charge. But I want everybody's mind, right? Because people are brilliant. Like we have beautiful minds, right? People are so smart and intuitive and creative and all of those things. So we need to bring all of that to the table, right? If we just got one person who's the leader, they have the most money, they have the most power, and everybody says, oh, we're just going to cower to them and follow them. It doesn't mean that they're right. It doesn't mean that they have all the answers. It doesn't mean that they've chosen the best option, right? And that's why we need the mini brains, right? We need the mini brains, those think tanks, right? And people coming together so that we can exercise other options to really see what's going to be, of the best benefit. And who knows, even sometimes when that happens, sometimes it's still not the right choice, but at least we came together collectively as a team, and at least we explored some different options. And now we just go back to the table again, and we start from the scratch, or we continue to build and try to make things better. So yeah, I'm not a fan of groupthink. So absolutely the maturity, but for the challenge for all you women and men out there is to teach your children from a very young age, right? How to network and how to be a part of a team, right? That kind of thing. And then also how to exercise your voice in a positive manner, right? To where you're not really kind of coming. Some people come in really kind of standoffish and kind of hardcore. And I think it's a better way to do that as well, so that you can be seen and heard and people can take you seriously. And then you move on, for the greater cause. So yeah, well said, Yessie. I love it.
Listen, another woman's success does not take away from mine. It was just, I'm so glad you guys brought up that topic because I don't ever, well, you guys know my age. I'm not going to say it, but never, ever, ever in my life would I've ever been jealous of another woman's success. Okay. We have the same 24 hours in a day, even when I didn't have nothing, So I literally just posted on my story, Shirley Ralph. I saw it on Instagram and I posted on my story. You don't compare, you could work together with another human being. You don't have to compete. You know what I mean? You can learn from that person. Why? There's so many things in this media going on. Like another person will see somebody's success on social media, and you don't know what the hell they're going on in the background. You don't know what they have to do to get there. You know what I mean? Look at the perfect example. I think it was like there was I don't know the person's name, but it was a major influencer that got arrested because her and her partner was out there shoplifting and stealing and whatever. Then she went to jail and she's out here flaunting all this stuff in social media, but other people are jealous of her lifestyle. Like, come on, seriously? So these are the things that I'm talking about. People are out there getting jealous of other people's success or thinking they have this and they have that, but you don't know what the hell they have going on in the background. You can't be jealous of other people's success, honey. That's just how I feel. And even in the military, some women are they try to compete with you instead of uplifting you, try to help you grow. And even upper leadership are competing with you too, or they don't want you to get to the top. But why?
Right. Wow.
I think the why is the insecurity piece. I think that's kind of, I'm not going to say it's the only why, but I think one of the whys is insecurity and also the immaturity that you spoke of. And then
Yeah.
also just people just being broken, coming from places of brokenness on the inside, and they haven't gotten healing from that. And to try to make themselves feel better, right? They come at your neck, right? They come for you. They try to sabotage you. And so it just takes healing. I believe it's just broken people, like hurt people trying to hurt other people. Instead of saying
Yeah.
like, hey, how did you come to be how you are and who you are? Like, what did it take? Like getting a mentor, right? Let me be a mentor to you versus an enemy, right? That kind of thing. You were going to
Yeah.
say yes?
And anybody that genuinely knows me, that I love helping people. I really love helping people. So people, they will judge you without getting to know you, but especially going back to what Cece was saying in the military, it's about insecurities. It's about thinking you're going to take their opportunities. But we all have the same opportunity. We all have the same 24 hours in one day. We have to work hard for what we want. Like in the military, I never kissed nobody's butt to get there. I worked my butt off. And people were still trying to stop my shine. You know what I mean? So I'm not understanding why you can't work with somebody else or try to help them, to grow. And with this generation we have coming up, you have to help, you have to help each other.
Right, absolutely. I love that. And it's interesting because with regards to what you all are saying, you all are spot on, and I echo your words totally. Now, the social comparison theory is one of the most widely cited explanations for jealousy and competition, which I know both of you expressed here. For those who like to read, there's a book by Leon Festenberg, which was published back in 1954. However, it's called A Theory of Social Comparison Processes, and it's a journal of human relations. And the key idea there is people evaluate their abilities and worth by comparing themselves to others. These comparisons can lead to envy, jealousy, or competition when someone perceives another person doing better, right? Also, envy and social psychology. So, research explaining the emotional roots of envy. There's a book published in 2007 by Richard Smith and Sung Hee Kim called Comprehending Envy, which is a psychological journal and bulletin. And the key idea there is envy often arises when someone perceives another person as having an advantage in areas they personally value, such as success, attractiveness, status, etc. The Scarcity Mindset and Competition, 1989, published by Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of a Highly Effective People. I actually read a couple of chapters, and very interesting book. I like that book. So I highly recommend it for those who haven't had a chance to take a glimpse at it or read it. But this is research on perceived limited resources increase rivalry. So the key idea here that conveys is the scarcity mentality, where individuals believe there are limited opportunities for success, which leads to competition rather than collaboration. And what's interesting there? I see that a lot in the acting world, right? Because in the acting world, there's a saying that there's an oversaturation of actors with limited opportunities, and that's why people get very competitive with like a role and auditioning and doing this and that and the other, and they feel like they have to stand out. Or even the modeling industry the same way. And that's why, again, that's why We Don't Wait, We Create was created. Shout out to Ra One, my honey, the visionary for that, because he got sick of hearing people saying, I want an opportunity. No, it's time to create an opportunity. Don't wait around for the opportunity. Don't wait around for Susie and Joe and Tommy and Peter to give you the opportunity. Let's work together. Let's collaborate and make that opportunity happen, right? So just food for thought there. Another one here that I found regarding jealousy evolved as a protective emotion linked to status, relationships, and resources. There's a book, The Dangerous Passion, Why Jealousy is as Necessary as Love and Sex by David Buss, published in 2000. And then Female Social Competition, research examining competition specifically among women. So, a book published by Joyce Benenson in 2014 called Warriors and Warriors, The Survival of the Sexes. So the key idea with that book, Benenson explains that women often engage in indirect competition, such as comparison, exclusion, social dynamics, etc., rather than direct confrontation. And there's other stuff here. So I've shared a lot there. Any thoughts about what I just shared?
That one book, what was the title? Not the very last book you just read the title to, but the one prior to. Not the Warriors
Oh.
Warriors, but the one prior to that.
That one, jealousy evolved as a protective emotional link to status, relationships, and resources called The Dangerous Passion, Why Jealousy is as Necessary as Love and Sex by David Buss.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. Jealousy is as necessary as all of that. There's no need for jealousy. There really isn't. It'll drive you nuts. It brings about a negative effect. I guess if you want to put like a positive spin on it, I guess to say if it is going to be positive. And I don't really like to use the term jealous, but maybe it'll push you to do better. You know what I'm saying? But jealousy, in essence, right, in its form, is it's a negative connotation associated with it. So it's jealousy. Let me just bring it back a little bit. Jealousy is not good. Jealousy is bad, negative. So having an admiration for someone, because the jealousy will have you do bad, negative things, whereas having an admiration, like you admire somebody doing something, that can bring it back around to a positive. So I don't know about that title. Maybe it was a play to kind of, pique people's interest, because it definitely, got my ears attuned to bring people in to read about it. And I'm pretty sure the author will go in to explain more about that. But I don't ever believe that jealousy is necessary. It's quite contrary. It's never necessary, because it's always going to lead to something bad, somebody being hurt, somebody, by words or even by actions, right? And we definitely don't want that to happen. What were you going to say, Nadine? I saw you.
No, I agree with you, because it's just like when somebody posts. I think it's a new thing. It's a new trend, even on social media, TikTok, Instagram. When somebody really want to get you in tune, then it's like, don't buy this product. I'm warning you, don't buy it. But when people hear those things, they still look at it. So I think it's just like you said. I was going to mention something about envy, like envy. Like Yessie was saying earlier, she mentioned something about envy, and envy is people, they try, blowing out the other person's candle will not make yours shine brighter. It's so crazy, because I remember posting that on one of my what do you call, my Facebook thing, and I still have it up there. I had it up there for some years now. So it is crazy that you said that, because we've all experienced that in our lives. That is so crazy, right? Oh, and another thing, remember the young lady who went to Mexico, where people, she thought they were her friends, and they unalived her. Yes, see, you have not heard of that story?
Yes, I remember that story. That was heartbreaking. That was, wow. Yeah, that was unfortunate. And the sad thing was, it was a whole group, not just one person. The whole,
Yeah,
there was a
and
bunch of them. It was like 6 of them, right, or 7?
yeah, it was a bunch of them. And then one of the young ladies, she actually changed her name, thinking that she was gonna run away from it, but they got her butt back, going back to Mexico to stand trial, because that's crazy. I mean, you're in the video, face plain as day.
That part.
It's fortunate that you think somebody is your friend, and then they just turn on you like overnight.
And see, sis, that's why the power of prayer. That's why every morning in this household we pray to God to remove and rebuke anything, anyone, any entity, any deity and spirit that is negative, that is evil, that is not of God, away from
That's
this
right.
household, away from the family, and bring the divine connections, the ones that are genuine, that are full of love, that really, truly, genuinely want to help each other grow and prosper. And hence why I have you two lovely ladies here with me, right? You
Absolutely.
all are the divine.
You already know how strong all of our discernments are, because that's the same thing I did in the past. I prayed, and God always answers my prayer. Let me know if this person or this relationship is for me, and trust me, God, he worked in like lightning. The very next day, the signs. It's up to you. It's up to you if you want to ignore those signs. But the very next day, he answers that prayer. Boy, let me tell you, he doesn't play with me. Doesn't play with us. But let me tell you, if you want to get somebody out of your life, they always say, be careful what you ask for, right?
That's true. That is true. But you know what, sis? I'm glad you brought that up too, because this is a good opportunity for those individuals who might be having that heavy spirit, right? Something isn't right. It could be time, especially with the transition of change. We're changing from winter into spring. It could be time to kind of, do that spring cleaning, right? Pray that prayer obviously you do have to be mentally ready for it, because like Nadine said, once you say it, God's gonna honor, and you're gonna look around and you're like, well, wow, what happened to so and so and the other person over there? Like the people that you thought were in your corner, you're gonna really realize how not true that may be, my dear. So just food for
Absolutely.
thought, right?
So yeah,
And
yep,
even with
that's it.
relationships,
So be true to yourselves and be ready for when it happens. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna hurt. You know, when he starts moving people, you're like, no, they've been my friend for like 12 years. And he's like, no, it's, you know, because everybody just has a season. You know, sometimes it's not a lifetime, it's just a season. And so you just give God thanks for that person being in your life for that season. It's still going to sting a little bit. Let's just be real, but just honor God in that, right? Because when he removes one, and not even say that person was bad or awful or anything like that, it was just the time of that season was up. And so now he must bring in the next person, right? To help you continue to grow and to purge and to prune and to do all of these things, right? So that you can bear more fruit. So it's not always bad when people leave your life, right? So
absolutely.
just keep that in mind, but definitely be ready when you pray that. I call it a dangerous prayer, right? So be ready when you pray that prayer.
And I love that saying too. Like people come into your life. You Cece, you already know. I always say people come into your life for a reason, season, or a lifetime. Because some of those people, they're like leaves on a tree, right? Some of them are the roots. Tyler Perry said it best. I don't know. Well, Medea, he said it when he was Medea, but he had I don't know if you guys heard it, but he was talking about the leaves on the tree, the stems and the branches and the root. And the people that are meant to be in your life, those are the root. They will be there forever. Those are your village, and those are the people that you need to have around you. The positive people, they're there for you. Doesn't matter what you're going through. Friends, family members, they stick around with you. They're not, trying to. They're only around when you're making it, or when you're at the top. They're there for you when you're at the bottom too. So those people are your village. Those people are the roots. So those people, those leaves of the tree, they were just there for a season. They weren't meant to. They weren't meant to be in your life.
That's a good point. I agree. I love that. Shout out to all the viewers and listeners, especially
Yeah.
Fox Ish. She's been commenting, so thank you. She
Foxy,
shared
hello.
collaboration. Yeah, she said create unity and build together. Shout out to you, Fox, for tuning in, chiming in, and everybody else who's watching. Don't be shy. We'll definitely give you some shout out and love. So talk to us. But
And if
yes,
you want to come on the show as well, just hit up Miss Yessie over here, or hit up, any one of us.
absolutely. You know what? I'm going to put the email right at the bottom of the screen right there. And we're going to take actually a quick sponsor break, because we've been having such a juicy conversation that we need some time for sponsors. So don't
Right.
go anywhere. India will be right back. Take a quick water break. I mean, we're going to be back in less than a minute. So just don't go too far, right? We'll be right back.
Sponsored by Collective Wear. Available at www.yessierodriguez.com/shop and myrod-enterprise.com/shop.
A bold builder of people, purpose, and platforms, Girls with Gigs helps high performers and those desiring to achieve more shift mindsets and activate purpose. Whether it's career or leadership development, personal branding, or knowing your worth, in the job market, transformation has never been closer, because this is where purpose meets action and dreams become destiny. Book your free consultation today at www.girlswithgigs.com.
Dream, explore, discover with Nadine's Travel Oasis. Your next adventure is just the booking away. From breathtaking beaches to vibrant cityscapes, we handle the details so you can make the memories. Luxury, leisure, or last-minute getaways, we've got you covered. Book today and let Nadine's Travel Oasis take you places.
Yes, shout out to our amazing sponsors. We have more sponsor breaks coming up soon. But yes, those 3 amazing sponsors. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't forget, if you need a help finding your purpose, we got here Dr. Cece the Actionist, who will help you find your purpose. And especially if you're a lovely young woman or even older woman, however old you are, and you still don't know your purpose, which is okay, it happens, reach out to Cece. She will get you right. Girls with Gigs, Inspire for Purpose. She will align you and help you out. So yes. Also, travel. I mean, hey, for those who love to travel, especially if you have like a dream travel place, whether it be, let's see, I don't know, Thailand or Fiji, Maldives. I mean, I don't know. reach out to Nadine, Travel Oasis. She will get you right and she will get you aligned and you will have a great time. So life is getting shorter and shorter, right? You know, I have a birthday coming up. Praise God. I'm not complaining. But when I look around, I'm like, woo, what happened?
That actually rhymes. That actually rhymed what you said. She will get you a line and you'll have a great time. That's actually a good phrase.
That tells you how I've been around MC for too long. Because you know, Ra, he does hip hop. He's a rapper. So that shows you that Ra's rubbing off on me.
Right. I can tell, Missy.
That is awesome. I love that. I'm so glad you caught that. That is beautiful. So during the break, I had a chance to look more into that book that Cece was so curious about, The Dangerous Passion, Why Jealousy is as necessary as Love and Sex by David Buss. And so I want to share more. So it is actually a psychology book published in 2000 that explores why jealousy exists and what role it plays in human relationships. Buss is an evolutionary psychologist, so the book explains jealousy through the lens of human evolution and mating behavior. Oh, that's different. Okay. So the main argument of the book, it says, Buss argues that jealousy is not just insecurity or weakness. Instead, it is an evolved psychological mechanism that helped humans protect important relationships and reproductive success. In simple terms, jealousy developed as a warning system. It alerts someone when something might feel, like threaten their peace for the most part, whether it be their romantic partner, their relationship, their social status, their investment in a partner or a family or a business, etc. In evolutionary terms, losing a partner can mean losing resources, protection, or reproductive opportunities. So that's different. That's interesting. What any thoughts about that?
We already know how the discernment is, but there's a lot of people in this world that they do have discernment with friends, family, relationship, and they don't know how to tap into it. They ignore the signs. That's why you have all these crazy things happen because they don't know how to. I don't know what the word I'm looking for. Like they basically ignore the red flags. So for me, for my discernment, whenever I feel something is wrong, like I get a burning pain in my stomach, like in the pit of my stomach. Me, seriously. When I feel something, especially in a relationship, Cece knows we have those conversations. Like like, girl, I'm telling you, I know something is wrong. Girl, I'm telling you, my stomach is hurting so bad. And sure enough, we're not gonna tell any stories, girl. I mean, but that's facts. People ignore the rest. People ignore the red flag. Sorry, that's an inside joke because you know exactly what I'm talking about. But people they ignore the red flags. So you just have to go with your gut. Like they always said your gut is a sign from God.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, I was transitioning from Wisconsin to North Carolina, and I was in my early 20s because I moved here 22, 21. But at that time, I had a long distance relationship, and then eventually, once I came here, we resided together. But nevertheless, similar to you, Nadine, I had a really uncomfortable gut feeling, and so I prayed to God. And I prayed to God. I was like, you know what, God, give me the information I need because I'm not getting the warm and fuzzy. Something's not right. And me being Inspector Gadget, God told me exactly what to do. So I ended up that day I had taken PTO. I remember it was for something. I forgot what it was for. But nevertheless, I heard a ding ding and this individual's laptop was open. I was like, I mean, I know I shouldn't have, but I did. I was like, oh, okay, God, this must be what God is telling me here. So I went. There was an email that I found from this individual and another person that they were involved with while being involved with me. And so what I did is I printed it and I used it as evidence. And so when that person came in, that few hours later, I had that as a tool. I was like, hey, I was the Swedish person. I was like, hey, how are you? How's it going? I was putting my actor's face. Is there anything you want to tell me? And they were like, no. I was like, are you sure? No. I asked at least 5 times. And then the 5th time, I went in the back pocket, unfolded it. I was like, what's this? The jaw dropped. I was like, that's it. And long story short, history. But hey, pretty much the moral of the story is God's going to give you the tools and resources and the discernment to do what you got to do. That's the moral of the story here.
Listen,
Oh my goodness.
I'm busting out laughing because those are the infamous lines. Is there anything else you want to tell me? You want to tell me? That's the favorite.
Look, there is this comedian, and is his name Big Country, or there's a comedian. My husband just showed me this video about to me and my brother about a week. What is it called? Who is he called?
Is it Country Wayne?
No, not him. It's a different guy. But what you just did, Yessie, you proved this guy true. I'm like, because he says that women are like, we're delusional, like we're insane. And so he's always doing like jokes like what you just did. Like that's like a real example that he uses what you just did. He's like, the women know when they got you in a lie, but they'll come around and they'll do exactly what you just did. Like, is there anything you want to tell me? And they already know. And then they see, I was like, whoop, there's some proof, you know. Oh, that's just what I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy telling the joke. He's absolutely right. You know, he's like, women are crazy. Like, why do all of that? Just be like, look, I know you lying to me. You know what I'm saying? That's funny.
Exactly.
That's funny. You know, and talking about the jealousy. Oh, I know.
Right.
But in talking about the jealousy.
Go ahead.
Yes. And talking about the jealousy, right? You know, still, I mean, this psychologist may try to spin it and say that we need all this and that. You know, I just go by the word of truth, the Bible, right? It's just the absolute truth. And the Bible depicts jealousy as not only depiction, but says what it is. In a sinful nature, right? It's bad, bad, bad. The Bible uses a different word, and zeal, right? Or to be zealous. I'm going to call it zealousy, okay? We just made a new word, okay, y'all? Right here on OND, okay? Zealousy, all right? Let's be more zealous. Let's have that zeal. You know what I'm saying? That's better than having the jealousy, right? With it, because that's also like an intense passion, right? It's a deep desire, it says on here, right? Because you want to achieve a goal and things of that nature, right? And so that's the positive spin on it. Jealousy still within itself does not produce any good fruit. It evolves from a sinful nature. And we know what sin does, right? For those believers out there. And if you don't believe, I'm going to let you know, sin causes death. That's what happens, right? There's no way around it. So we want to be zealous. You know, they say that God is a jealous God, but it's in the mindset of having, he has zeal, right? Because he wants righteousness and things of that nature. So just wanted to kind of put that out there. I know our social scientists out there, right? This psychologist, you know, we try to explain things, you know, with the mind and all these things in the body and all that, you know, I just keep it real simple, real plain. You know what I'm saying? I just bring it all the way back to the truth. And so I'm sticking with that. I'm immovable on this.
I love that. Now, sis, let me go back to what you were saying, like what the guy was saying. Now, this is why I did it. One, I was younger, right? When you're younger, you really don't know better. But 2, because I have a big, like, I don't like liars. Like, me a liar, like, no, like, don't lie to me. Like, we're adults, talk to me. Like, if there's something you gotta say, talk to me. Like, I don't have time, no. So I was hoping that this individual would be a man and man up and be honest. I was trying to give that person the benefit of the doubt, right? That was the why behind it. And also understanding, like, why did you do this versus talking to me? Because I don't have time to waste. I have a whole beautiful life ahead of me. Like, you're not the end all be all, you know? And that's pretty much what I told the person. You're not the end all be all. Bye. I ain't got time for the shenanigans. And I'm leaving. That plain and simple, because that's how I am. It's like, once I know that this is how we are, I don't have time to waste and go back and forth into this dance. No, we ain't got time for that. No, you know?
I love that. Not having time for the shenanigans, for the lies and all of that. Kind of gently kind of shifting here a little bit, because I like what you said about the shenanigans. Nadine, you sent a post in about the DAV, which is the Disabled American Veterans. And there's a statement here talking about the VA's planned use of AI right? Artificial intelligence to review different benefits questionnaires. And so this was posted on yesterday, actually, by the national commander, Coleman Nee. And what it's talking about are using these AI tools to identify potential fraud and disability benefits questionnaire, the DBQs that we all have to kind of fill out. And they want to go back more than 15 years, basically. To have AI kind of scrub these records and do all of these things. And so I was reading this and I really got to get more into it, but I sent this out to some other fellow veterans and I got some phone calls and the people were very angry. And I get it because, you know, we're veterans here as well. And it just seems like Congress, it seems like the Senate, it seems like, you know, the political, all the affiliates, right? Everybody that's involved, all of our leaders from, you know, mayoral, you know, levels to council members, all the way up to our commander in chief. It seems like, you know, when we put people in place to review programs, especially when it comes to veterans, it's like people are always trying to find money. Oh, we're going to save money. We're going to save money because what's going to come out, I believe, from all of this, right? AI, right? Going back to scrub these records. I don't really know who has programmed this machine to look for fraud, right? In these claims, but I'm like, how do you prove that, right? When you go back to look at some of these things. The other thing is what I see is, you know, one of my fellow veterans said, just leave us alone. And that's why we have the VFW and the DAV and all these other entities out there to fight for our fellow veterans. You know, I would hate to see, you know, at a time in American history where people just don't sign up and volunteer, you know, because you sign up in your prime, in your youth, and you're healthy and you're strong. And then you join. And then, of course, they break you. Right? They break us because you just do unnatural things, right, in the armed forces that causes wear and tear on your body and things of that nature. And it's necessary to be able to accomplish the mission. The only caveat with that is what I see when they begin to say, okay, no, we're not going to pay you. You know, say if they say this, I believe that's what it's all kind of coming down to. We'll give you all of the medical care that you need, but we're not going to pay you one dime. Well, that's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough for the people that risk their lives day in and day out. Who wants to sign up, you know, to say, hey, I'll lay my life on the line and you don't have to do anything for me. Just give me all my medical care and stuff like that. What if I can't work and provide for my family? Because that's what happens a lot of times, right? Because your mental is either, you know, gone in the other direction, right? And you're dealing with some things, or even just you're very physical, you know, you're dealing with these things. And so a colleague and I, we were talking earlier, and she was very, very passionate. And she's like, they just need to leave us alone. And I agree. So I want to just charge all veterans that are out there, all active duty members that are out there, family members and everybody, write to your congressman, write to these senators, write to these people to say, hey, leave our military alone. Because I bet you at the end of the day, you know, when they try, if just say no one signed up to just join the military anymore. Well, now you got to draft people. But y'all, we're of a day and age where people are going to fight back. Because why would I lay my life on the line, right? Why would I cause all this havoc and pain and destruction on my body, right? And there's no benefit to that. Not saying I want that to happen, because I don't. I want to go in, I want to come out just as healthy as I was going in, because no amount of money, no amount of health care can restore back, right, my livelihood. So I just want to put the challenge out there to people. I want you all to be paying, you know, special attention. Look at your news, look at what's going on out there, and stand up for the rights of veterans, y'all. No member of Congress, anyone should even be thinking like, how do we stick it to veterans? Because if it wasn't for us protecting the borders and boundaries of this country, you would not have a Congress. You won't have these things. You won't even have a basic business. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't be able to operate in your day-to-day lives without our lives being in foreign waters and foreign seas and hostile countries, right? Defending so that stuff doesn't come into our country. You understand? So for all those people, I know some people are very patriotic. I know that there's other people that enjoy the great benefits of America and they're non-patriots, which I'm like, why are you here then? You know what I'm saying? Because you can clearly go somewhere else, right? But just be aware of that. Stand up for your veterans. Stand up for, you know, the active duty members. Stand up for those family members, because look, even though family members don't go and fight the wars, they are still fighting a war at home, because a lot of them are being single parents, single mommy, single daddy, while that active duty veteran is out fighting that war. So I'm saying it right now, loud and proud. Leave us alone. Leave us alone. Leave us alone.
I agree
I'm
with you,
fed up
sis.
with it. I'm fed up.
I agree with you, sis. I really agree with you. It's so crazy we're having these conversations, because literally all these conversations we talk about, we just like either I posted something about it or it was just like a few days ago. Like I posted a post about the veteran, the army young lady who got dragged or whatever, and that was a few days ago. I dropped it in our chat, and somebody had posted, and everybody have a right for their opinion. They said Black women do not need to be in the military. It's never our fight, and it's never about helping us. But a lot of people, but everybody, they're entitled to their own opinion. You know what I mean? Because I joined the military. I joined the military for an education. I joined the military to get out of the New York. I joined the military to get away from an abusive dad. That's the reason why I joined the military, because I was a track star. I was gonna get I got 3 scholarships, and all my dad would have to do was pay for my books and my dorm. My way out was not running the streets of Bronx. I wanted to do something better with my life. So I joined the military. So to each its own. And Cece and I, we were stationed on the same ship, and they didn't see the fires that we had to fight. We had to go through on a ship. We were sleeping under the flight deck. Like we had to wear earplugs. We were on one of the oldest ships. We had to wear earplugs to bed because planes were landing on top of our heads. Some of us come out with tinnitus, hearing problems. So as Cece said, leave us the hell alone. That's ridiculous. People coming out having PTSD and all this stuff. So some of the things and the disabilities are not physical. It's not physical. So I don't understand why are they doing this mess to us. I don't care if you did 2 years, 4 years, 30 years. I did 24 years, and you can't tell me that we don't have all these issues just because you can't physically see them. So this is outrageous, and it's all about trying to save a penny. And that's what it is. And even all the years that we served in the military, when we do get out, when we do get retired, they cut in our retirement in half when we should have been getting the same pay that we get on active duty. People retire and they still have to come out and find a job. People thinking you have this lavish life in the military, the government paying you all this money. If that's the case, when you get out of the military and when you retire, why do you have to find a second job? And it's not about, your finances, you have to have better financial or whatever the case is. I don't give a damn what kind of finance you have. When you did it doesn't matter if you did 2 days and serve the United States government. You shouldn't have to come out and work. You shouldn't have to come out and suffer. There should be no damn veterans living on the side of the street, going to pantries wanting food. You shouldn't have to have none of that shit. Excuse my language, but I'm hot. I'm sorry, but no.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you, sis. I'm right there with you. It should not be. Leave us alone. We've done the work. People aren't. Who's sleeping with earplugs every night? Who's sleeping with earplugs every night? And that don't even do you justice. Who's going through training with AFFF, this aqueous foam, which now causes cancer? Who's walking around on a steel every day with a 5-pound boot on your foot? You see what I'm saying? With a rucksack on you. Who's doing that every day? Who's out in the field? Who's out there digging holes, pooping and peeing, and who's doing that? It's us. Yeah, we signed up. I joined the military because I am patriotic, because I wanted to protect my country, because guess what? My family lives here, right? So I signed up for different reasons. I signed up. But I'm saying if I'm signing up, the U.S. government says we sign a contract, and on that contract, and I'm paraphrasing here, saying, hey, we thank you for your service. And if we break you while you're in, right, we're going to make sure that we fix you or try to fix you or compensate you in some kind of manner once you get out. In a nutshell, right? That's what it says when you sign on there, right? Because who in their right minds would go in and do that?
Exactly. And here's the thing. Here's the caveat about all this crap. When you have to go in healthy. You have to go in healthy. You have to pass MEPS. You have to pass the physical. You have to be qualified 3 ways: mentally, morally, and physically. Okay, I was a recruiter in the Navy for 13 years. I know what you need. You know what I mean? So you have to go in healthy. So why, when you come out broken, they have to go through all this crap in order for you to do all these investigations for you to get the benefit that you work for, that you deserve? Come on now, be real.
Now, sis, you said a mouthful. Yes, we're going to let you get in here because we're getting excited as veterans here. But You're absolutely right. You have to go in healthy. That you do various tests, y'all. You go through a strenuous medical workup to make sure that you, this member that wants to be a part of this great armed forces, is 100% healthy, right? So it means I'm good. I'm 100%, only to come out at 2%, and then I gotta fight. You know what I'm saying? To get some kind of help for the 2%. I went in 100. You know what I'm saying? But now I came out like you done took everything. You done took all the 98. I'm left with 2%. And then they're saying, okay, now you go and you work with that. Thank you. Pat on the back. Now you go and work with that. Go ahead, Yessie.
I started getting migraines when I was on the ship, when I was stationed in Japan. And when I get out, they're kind of trying to go through all these loopholes, we went through my medical records, see all the times that when I was on the ship, see all the medications I've taken for my migraine. And they still put me all through these ringers to find out about my migraine. Like, seriously? Who want to have a headache? I wouldn't wish a migraine on my worst enemy. That's the worst illness you could have. I think I never had a child per se. I had a miscarriage, but I never had to push out no baby. But I think it's the closest thing to having a child, because those migraine will knock you out like for days. You have to turn off the lights.
Yeah. Wow. I will say this. I mean, and I know I share this with y'all. For first, thank you for being honest, being transparent. A lot of people that have served in the military, I'm sure, feel the same or similar. So thank you for being honest, transparent, and being that voice today on Oyandia for those individuals who feel the way that you do. They just don't have that outlet like we have here, right? And so in honor of Women's History, I just want to take a moment to really recognize and celebrate each of you, especially you two. CC, Nadine, like, you two are incredible. And it's just hearing it, I'm picturing it, and I'm just getting emotional because I'm like, wow, that's tough. That's rough. But you all did it. You did it for us, for our country. And whoo, girls, show your strength, your courage, your resilience, your commitment. That's honorable. And to say thank you for your sacrifice. Like, and I mean, and it's unfortunate because now you have to deal with the aftermath, right? You have to deal with the consequences of. But just know that you are our heroes, and in honor of Women's History Month, you two are amazing. So, yeah.
Thank you. And I was thinking too, like, with every 6 months we have to do our physical fitness test, and they have to change the policies so many times to fix the standard, because people, you have to sit on the ground, you have to be positioned a certain way, and you lifting up and you straining your back, and people are having back issues, and they're wondering why. It's because doing those exercises, you know what I mean? So why are they changing the policies if they weren't affecting people?
Exactly. A simple sit-up that we've done incorrectly for numerous years, right? And then strain the back, put strain on the neck. And you do this year after year after year after year, every 6 months, and even the training in between that, because you still got to stay fit to be able to take that test. So you're still working out in between, but it's a lot. And I know that there are good people out there fighting. There's people out there with a voice. The thing that kind of cracks me up is that we do have veterans that are in Congress who are against us, right? Which just blows my mind. But at the end of the day, just know that I stand with you. We stand with the fellow veterans out there. So when you see petitions come out, when you see people coming to knock on your doors and they're asking you to sign it. I mean, find out what it is, of course, all right? Because some of them out there get you some signs, some cray-cray. But make sure that you sign and you say, yeah, we got to stand up. We got to stand up. We got to stand up and fight for something. Okay, we really do. And the something, not anything, the something that matters, right? The thing that truly matters, that's going to help our country. Y'all, America is so divided. It's so divided. And we know a house divided against itself will fall. We are falling. We have got to come back together. We have to be united. It's in our name, the United States, and we need to come into unite. We are imploding on the inside. We have enemies within our walls, right? They're here. They're on our continent. They're in our country. Right? There are enemies that are here and ready to die for the cause. Trust and believe. We've seen it happen overseas. They're here in America doing the same thing. You guys share news stories all through our chats as we're sharing stuff throughout the week. And it's crazy. It's literally crazy. I mean, crazy. Sometimes we use that word very lightly, but the things that's going on in our world, the things that's going on here on our very own soil is out of control. We got lunatics. I want to shift again a little bit. I want to shift it in and kind of bring it back up a little bit. You ladies were sharing something on a a good note, right? Some things that got diverted with this bomb and things of that nature. Go ahead and share some of the good news, because I definitely need like a little boost right now. We've empowered the people. We're empowered to the people. So let's see what some of the people are actually doing out there.
Okay, well, I'm glad that they intervened and they diverted the plane to Atlanta. I mean, the plane, I think it was leaving Nashville going to Fort Lauderdale, and they diverted it. And I'm so glad that they didn't have any casualties and they caught the guy. So that was great news right there.
Right.
That happened 5 days ago or so.
Yep, that's true. So for those who are not aware, what Nadine is referenced to is a Southwest Airlines. Apparently there was a bomb threat. There was an individual who you can tell they were from a foreign country. And they were able to bring in, I believe it was either the National Guard or Coast Guard. I guess they're saying it could be different. You all have to educate me on the difference between Coast Guard and National Guard. But nevertheless, one of the guard crew was able to come in and pretty much escort him out the plane, and they just wanted to make sure that this individual did not have an actual physical bomb. But a lot of people were alarmed, especially being on a plane. Like, that's scary. That's scary. But let me say this though. Going back to what you were saying, Cece, you know, this is something that I'm so passionate about because I bring it up often. Midterm elections. Gosh, and I want to keep bringing it up because this is important. Because for those who don't know, I'm going to educate you right now. The laws for even veteran affair benefits, they come from Congress. The main rules that govern veteran benefits are created by the U.S. Congress, right? So that means eligibility for VA benefits, disability compensation rules, healthcare programs, education benefits, like the GI Bill. These laws are signed by the White House, right? And so the VA creates the detailed policies after Congress makes these laws, right? And passes all of these policies, etc. But pretty much with regards to the laws, yes, they come from Congress. Now, why is Yessie saying midterm elections? This is why I'm going to educate you on that. Pretty much because because I did some research here. So the connection with the VA policies and the midterm elections is very direct because the U.S. Congress has those two branches, as we know. The House of Representatives, aka I call them the HORS, HORs, House of Representatives, and then the United States Senate. And so during the midterm elections, all 435 members of the House and about 1/3 of the Senate, that's when those midterm elections are really in play there. Fun fact, for those who don't know, November, midterm elections are coming up this year, November, so stay tuned. Each state, you might have different dates, or I believe it's November, the first Tuesday. Let me look and see. It's usually November 3rd or the 10th. Nadine or Cece, would one of you confirm for that while I read this for me, which midterm elections are coming up for 2026? What date exactly? While I read this here. But yeah, so the people elected during the midterms are the same ones who write those laws into effect, especially for the veterans, and then approve VA funding, oversee the Department of Veteran Affairs, etc. The Congress controls the VA budget. So the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs receives its funding from the Congress every year. That money determines things like healthcare funding for veterans, disability compensation benefits, mental health programs, staffing levels for processing claims. Hence why I guess I decided to use AI for processing claims, right? But that's another note that we definitely talked about earlier. Also, congressional committees influence the VA policy. So members elected in midterms may serve on key oversight committees like the House Committee of Veteran Affairs and the Senate Committee of Veteran Affairs. And so those individuals in this committee investigate problems within the VA, propose legislation, question VA leadership, shape reforms to the system. Also, veterans are a powerful voting group. So veterans, come on out. You all make a large and influential voting bloc in the U.S. Because of that, many candidate campaigns on issues like improving VA healthcare, reducing disability claim backlogs, preventing fraud, abuse, etc. So with you all coming out in November, what can you do? Your vote counts, even though you feel like you don't, or you may feel like you don't, your vote counts, right? If control of Congress changes after midterms, lawmakers might propose new veteran benefit programs coming up, change disability rating rules, increase or decrease oversight of the VA, pass laws affecting technology in the VA, such as AI usage. I've said a mouthful. Ladies, I'm not sure if one of you all had a chance to check and see when exactly the midterm elections are in November.
I think Cece
Yeah,
was
I'm looking here still. It's making me like do some email and stuff on this one.
Okay, so while CC finds that, Nadine, what are your thoughts about that, if you have any? No? Okay, gotcha. All right, so while CC finds that for us, I'm going to also share a positive. I'm going to pivot over to like a positive note, since CC did ask for that earlier. So I recently came across a viral story about a couple, and this actually happened March 5th. So today's the 12th, last Thursday, actually. A couple was driving on Loop 410 in San Antonio, Texas, when they noticed an SUV swerving dangerously and hitting the actual barrier. The husband quickly realized the driver looked unconscious behind the wheel. The driver was pretty much experiencing a heart attack or, a severe medical episode. So what they ended up doing, the husband drove his heavy Dodge work truck in front of the SUV. And then from there, then he let the SUV gently bump into the back of the truck, and he was able to put his brakes to slow down the vehicle. Like, that's genius. Like, who does that, right? This guy's like a superhero. So long story short, they were able to, with that rhythm, they were able to move the vehicle over. This individual's life was actually saved. And it was true that he ended up having a heart attack while behind the wheel. But angels do exist. Shout out to this couple in Texas. You all saved a life. And I say that to say that heart attacks happen anywhere. People can experience cardiac arrest anywhere, driving, behind the wheel, taking a walk, at home, etc. But wow. That was, to me, when I read that was touching. And those two people are amazing. So, yeah.
So in the chat there, I put the NCSL, which is the National Conference of State Legislatures. And so if you go on this site, it's going to show you for your state, right? Your dates. But they'll start doing all the running on November 3rd, 2026. So each state has like their primary dates. So the earliest one that's going to be starting off is here in March, starting out with Arkansas. And then it goes all the way, into the rest of the year. So yeah, everything is started right now in March, and it'll go through. But check your state. If you can post that, yes, on there. I popped it in our private chat, I believe. But it's the NCSL, the National Conference of State Legislatures. And I'm going to go on there and check out this site. I don't think I've ever been on this site before, but it looks like a lot of good information. And so this too can be something that the viewers can check out and utilize as well. So
awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Very, very helpful for sure. And I know this is a topic I bring up often, but because I am passionate about it, because I do believe that when the community comes together, we can make a difference. If we sit back and tie our hands and not do anything, then how can we expect change? We can't be the voice that complains if we're not willing to put in that work to vote for that change we want to see, right? So, okay, that's just how I think about it. But nevertheless, we're approaching our last minute words portion because we've had over an hour show. We were supposed to get a guest, but she wasn't able to join us. But it's okay because we had an amazing, juicy, thought-provoking conversation in honor of Women's History. So yes, it came out beautifully. I love that. All right. So last minute words. Let's have CC start, followed by Nadine, and I will close out.
So, hey, I'm your girl, Sandra the Actions with Inspire for Purpose and Girls with Gigs. You can find me on the World Wide Web at girlswithgigs.com or inspireforpurpose.com. As I always like to say, love and light and inspire for purpose.
Hey, and as you guys know me as Nadine Barton, Nadia B _1202. I mean, I'm talking like I'm saying my email. It's Nadia B NADIAB _1202 on Instagram, and my name, as you see here, Nadine Barton on Facebook. And as I always say, life is 10% of what happened to you and 90% of how you react. So always be kind to people. And if you'd like one of my books, you could go to my website, www.myfirstLastNameNadineBarton.com. And also, if you'd like to take a trip, I know for the people who still travel any time of the year, also send me a message at Nadine'sTravelOasis@gmail.com.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Before I say my last minute words, I'm going to pivot over to the remaining sponsor breaks. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back with Hoy en Día TV.
Sponsored by Divine Beauty and Accessories. Watch Hoy en Día TV, Thursday, 7:30 p.m.
At Cab Zenza, we believe beauty is a ritual, not just a routine. Rooted in intention and inspired by nature, our skincare is crafted to nourish more than just the skin. It nourishes the spirit. Every jar is made with purpose. Because when you flourish inside, it shows on the outside. Cab Zenza's isn't skincare, soul care.
From the moment that I put this Cab Zenza on my skin, it feels most amazing. As you can see, it has your skin glistening, it's moisturizing. You too should get Cab Zenza. Luxurious body butters.
Are you looking for the perfect shirt for that special occasion? At Collective Custom Wear, we bring your vision to life. From weddings, family reunions, anniversaries, or casual outing with friends, express yourself with your unique style and leave a memorable mark. Order now. Our custom shirts are designed just for you.
Yes, Collective Custom Wear. That's what we have on Hoy en Dia TV, Collective Custom Wear. Also, as we know, your skin is the largest organ. Make sure it stays hydrated. So invest in Cab Zenza today. And Divine Beauty and Accessories. Go on my website, yessirodriguez.com. Select the shop option, and voila, you're going to see the different options there for Divine Beauty and Accessories. So, yes, and for those who want to find me and follow me, just go on Google, type in Yessi Rodriguez. You'll see my website, my social media handles, a little bit of what I've done, because I've noticed that Google doesn't have everything I've done, but it's all good. It keeps the mystery alive, right? You'll find me somewhere, see me somewhere. But nevertheless, truly blessed. Thank you all for tuning in today. We had a really juicy conversation, and I love it. Every week, something different, something fresh, thought-provoking. It always stimulates my mind, and that's how I operate. I love things that keep me on my toes and keep me thinking, right? This is what life is about. We gotta want to grow and learn. Hoy en Dia is here to positively motivate, enlighten, educate, inspire, and entertain you, the viewer and listener. And I know we did that today, like we do every week. Cada semana hacemos eso, right? Yes. So like I always say, the sky is never the limit because the galaxies are endless. So until next week. Oh, and catch the rerun if you're watching this now and it's like towards the end of the show, Sunday, 7:30 p.m. All right. See you next week.
Ciao.